Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How are we doing today? We doing all right today? Hopefully we're doing well, because we have got to talk about this whole thing. Thank you for kicking off the contribution, Miss Felicia. How you doing, my good sister? The word said to sow into those that rightly teach and enrich your life. I thank you for your insights and burning me on that grill. Blessings. You know what? First of all, let me give you your round of applause, sis. And I'm gonna comment to that, because that means a lot to me. Thank you. The thing that I want to speak to, let me get to the other super chats, and I'm going to come back to Miss Felicia's comment. Thank you so much, Steve, for your contribution. Thank you, sweetheart. And thank you so much, Miss Lou Casey, for your super sticker. The reason why this means a lot to me is because she said, thank you for your insights and burning me on that grill. I always applaud women that have the wherewithal to hear somebody describe them, even if the person that's describing them or the thing they're describing, they don't know them. Of you, to hear a description of you, and that description is not flattering, but you recognize it as you. And then you go into not only recognizing and acknowledging it, but making whatever necessary changes you have to make so that that unflattering description of you no longer is a description of you. So I commend Miss Felicia for saying that, because everybody faces that. Everybody comes to that at some point in some way. Like, ooh, like that hit me where I live, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't nice. Like, ooh, that's kind of me though. Man, let me check that. Let me check that. Let me check that. And it does hurt your ego. It hurts your ego, hurts your pride. It hits you where you live. It hits you right in your lady gooch. Right in your lady gooch. You okay? It hits you right. You be like, oh, me? Moi? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I've been there. I've been there, Miss Felicia. Like I thought I was better than that. Said give her a lioness roar. We're gonna give her a roar. We're gonna give you the lioness. This is how you're a lion. This is how you become a lioness. This is how you become a better lioness, more self-aware. Lionesses are self-aware. We become aware, and even if we're not, we accept that feedback. And it's like, oh, that was me. Oh, I do be doing that. Ooh. Many times I've done that. So thank you once again, Miss Felicia, for saying what you said. Thank you, Anthony. Said keep cooking these hyenas one show at a time. We doing it. We doing it. Listen. Thank you for the compliments on the outfit. These glasses, when I got these glasses, I wasn't thinking about this dress. And it's perfect. I'm like, oh, when I put it on, I was like, oh, wait a minute. It looked like I bought the glasses for the dress and the for the glasses, but thank you so much. So let's talk about it, because all weekend and all week, everyone has been talking about the brick situation. Before that, it was the Brittany Renner situation. Right now, there's yet another video of an old woman getting jumped on by what appears to be a non-black man. I don't know if he's white. I don't know if he's Hispanic. I don't know who he is. And it's like he snatched the cane out of her hand and started hitting her with it. Now, we only hear the first snippets of sound. Whoever's recording it sounds like a woman. Sounded like a woman was recording it from like behind the glass. So this took place in like a subway. I'm thinking it was a New York subway, but I'm not sure. And I'm trying to figure out where all the people was at, because it was like, where y'all at? It seemed kind of deserted. I don't know what time it was. I'm not real sure about the circumstances of that video. But y'all heard about that video? It's recent. It's very recent. And we only get the first snippets of sound. And then the sound goes out. I don't know why. The sound goes out and we just see it unfold. We see the man take that woman's cane and he is just going. Okay, he is going. She was trying to fight back at first, and then he was just going until she was just on the floor like, stop. Now, let me just say this. I don't know the circumstances of that. She's what it looked like. She's just an old woman. We don't know what transpired before. You know, it's always a lot of swirling rumors and stuff like that when a video first goes viral. When a video first goes viral, you don't know the facts. Okay. So I'm not here to say what the facts were or were not. We just saw the video. That's all we did. And so, of course, it looks bad, right? Matter of fact, let me see if I can find. I do believe. Let me see if I can find that video. We're going to see. quick second. Okay. So this is courtesy. We're going to share the screen. This is courtesy of Dennis Sperling's Instagram. Thank you, Mobile Maze, for the contribution, sweetheart. I appreciate you because we're going to cook, but I want to kind of set this up a little bit. There's not really any sound, so we're not having to worry about any sensitive language or anything like that. But just watch what's going on. So here we go. It's like sound at the beginning and then that's it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Now it appears that the person that is recorded is not only a female, but if she's behind that booth, she's a MTA worker. Okay, because they be in them little booths and stuff like that. So this is probably the person that work in the subway. But let's go. So we can see that he's going to town. Pants coming down, all kind of stuff. Okay, this is not a pretty sight. This woman's bags are everywhere. She's on the ground here trying to stop him from hitting her with this cane and hitting her period. Okay. So we don't hear what he's saying. The video is silent. We don't hear what he's arguing about, whether it makes sense or not. So we're not getting any context for this. We have no context as of now. He kicks it. So this is pretty bad. I'm trying to figure out where are the people. New York subways are usually very crowded, so we don't know what time this was or which subway this was, you know, which train line this was. So now the caption that Dennis writes is that she's beaten with a belt after an argument with a crazy man fresh out of the psych ward. Okay. Fresh out of the psych ward. All right. Thank you, Miss Francois said she is an MTA booth employee and the chairman of the MTA said on the news she did the right thing. He was arrested last night. Other passengers watched and recorded. They say he's crazy. Okay. Thank you for that information. Okay. Unfortunate that the old lady took a beat down in the subway. MTA worker aside, policies aside, why the MTA worker didn't come out? If women are the innate protectors of the community, if women don't need men, if men have been declared overall useless to women in this society, beyond a few dollars and some sex, why didn't she, that MTA worker or any other female, jump to the defense of that old lady? You won't even defend other Black women, but you want men to come defend Black women in any situation. Clearly, this old lady needed help. Clearly, she needed help. And the woman didn't go out there. And she utilized the MTA policy to hide behind. Well, in a situation like this, it's policy for me not to come out of this booth. So she was comfortable. I don't know why there was no sound. She was comfortable to hide behind the policy. Now, if that was a man MTA worker, policy or not, he would have been blamed for not coming to this old lady's rescue. Risk his job and stuff like that is supposed to be, forget the policy, it's right and wrong. And it's wrong to stand there and watch a elderly lady be assaulted and you are a man and you don't stop it. Okay? But the point that I'm getting to is I thought you didn't need men. See, that rhetoric that's been going on for like 50 years, you can't. The chickens have now come home to roost. The chickens have come home to roost. And this is why the rhetoric was so dangerous, because women are going to start getting it from all sides, whether she initiates it or not. Because, see, we don't know the context of that video. We don't know if that because old ladies be having smart mouths. Don't trip. Old ladies be getting real spicy because they old and they figure they old and they women and you ain't gonna touch them because they old and they women, right? So they get real spicy with you. But I don't know if she started it or he started it. If he's got a mental problem, then, he might have started it. Who knows? If he's unstable. All right. This is the other thing. You gotta be real selective around here. Just real selective. Because people be in bad moods. People don't be right in the head. They have a reaction totally not fitting for what's happening. All kinds of stuff, all kinds of possibilities. But the woman did not go help the other woman. Could it be the reason she didn't help that other woman is because it was a man that was attacking her and he was already wilding out? And she didn't want no smoke with that man. She didn't want no piece of that cane. You understand? That cane action. She didn't want that, because what is she really going to do? She could go out there, she could beg him to stop. But what if he decide she need to get some smoke? And he start hitting her. Now she's being assaulted as well. So she know that. Women know that. They know they can't deal with a man on a physical level. See, they try to pick and choose which guy they're going to disrespect. Because when they kind of figure he might not do that. But see, if it's a stranger that's already wilding, he already giving out the business. He already handing out, you feel me? He already handing out whoopings. He already handing out street whoopings. Because he had a belt. I guess that's why his pants was sagging. He took off his belt to whoop this woman. Then he snatched the cane from her. So he already on 10. So he already wilding. So she don't want no smoke with a man that is already violent. Thought y'all was the protectors. And we protect our communities and societies with our intellectual property, our bodies, our breast milk. Do you see how ridiculous it sounds? How ridiculous It is. Because you actually hate men, yet you want protection of men from men. Because you cannot handle men, especially physically. If men get out of sorts with you and they get out of pocket with you and they get violent with you, you ain't got nothing for him. You don't got nothing for him. And don't think that a gun can equalize all them situations, because you're going to need to be able to be combat ready with that gun. And not pulling it to be threatening nobody. You know, pull it and use it, or don't pull it. Pull it and use it, or don't pull it. And a lot of women are not ready for that. Just like the video that I showed earlier today, not even grateful for the protection that you would get from a man. But what we really want to talk about is the evolution of the chickens coming home to roost. Women, you have spit that for more than half a century now. You have told men that they are on the bottom of your shoe, that you do not need them, that you do not like them, that you do not value them, that you do not want them around. You have made every effort to demonize them. You've said that their masculinity is toxic. You have said that men are crazy. You have said that men are not human. You have said that men are not capable of care or love or respect or any of that. You've said everything that you can. You dragged men in as a collective through the family court systems. You've dragged them to the fire and back. You put your hands on men. You have deleted men. You have deleted their seeds. I'm not talking about abortions. I'm talking about the kids that's living and breathing. You've decided that if he get custody or something go on, you're going to use his kids against him, or you delete them. So women have perpetrated some of the most evil acts and put out some of the most foul energy towards men in general. They've spread rhetoric all over the internet about how to use men, about how to not like men but still get things out of men. How to disrespect men and get away with it. How to fleece men and get away with it. How to destroy men and get away with it. How to destroy them with their family, how to utilize money against them, how to utilize the system against them, how to utilize your womanhood, the fact that you're a woman against them, lies about sexual assaults, lies about rapes, lies about all kinds of stuff you've done as a collective. To demonstrate the level of misandry that you collectively have against men. You don't like them. Furthermore, you hate them. You despise men. You despise them. This has gotten you out of the covering of men, because finally within the last few years, men have decided that they're going to believe what you said. And so therefore, if you can't stand me, then I can no longer provide you with random protection, random affection, random love, random concern. I can no longer afford to provide that, because women have created a very dangerous environment for men to interact with them on any level. So even men who mean well are unable to truly interact with women in even a what's the word I'm looking for? In any a wholesome way, a good way. I need y'all to look at the effect of that rhetoric. The blowback is coming to all the women because we meaning the lionesses that didn't speak up or the lionesses that allowed their voices to be drowned out. And I get it, but still it happened. The hyenas took the center stage and they grabbed the microphone and they told everybody that hyena was life. And this is how they're gonna, this is how they're gonna operate. And this is all of that type of stuff. And this is how we really feel about men. And this is how we move with men and stuff like that. We don't care what men think. And we don't care what men feel. And we don't care how our actions affect them. We're going to do what we want to do as chaotically as possible. And the hyenas held center stage. The rhetoric was dangerous for this reason. For this reason. It should not have been allowed for this reason. Because the chickens will come home to roost for all the women, not just the hyenas. See, trying to be sisterly with a hyena gets you in trouble. Trying to bond with them. I'm talking to the women right now. Let me read some of these super chats. I see your super chats. Thank you, Crazy Squirt, for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Okay, I got you, Miss Francois, with that. Thank you, Damien. So these hyenas won't even give up a seat on public transportation for another female, old or young. Exactly. They don't demonstrate good character with woman to woman. Thank you, Robert. Said, remember the guy at the CTA red line on 95th? Yeah. Thank you, Sister Samaya, for your super sticker. I appreciate you, beloved. Matter of fact, thank you so much, Miss Francois. Again, said, Miss Kendra, did you see the second video of the bystander of Brickgate? He told all strong and independent women to get a brick that only costs 58 cents. I did see that. He capitalized. He capitalized it, ain't he? Not as much as Miss Brick. I hear she got tens of thousands, like $30,000, $40,000 now. Somebody put a link to that to her GoFundMe. I want to see for myself what she got. Thank you, Marquis said, unfortunately, Black women have been indoctrinated to see Black men as expendable. Their lives mean motherboards, hence why they are encouraged, pushed, or shamed into defending them without approach. Thank you, Common Man said, women today got what feminists always wanted, and now they don't want what was given to them, and quality men don't want it back because it makes things easier for men. Yep. Okay. Thank you, D. Said, just got on to catch the show. You are giving 1970s casual guys. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Marquis said, nothing, now motherboard. Okay. Thank you again, Miss Samaya, for your contribution. Thank you, Larry, for your super sticker. Thank you, Edward, said the well has run dry on Black women. I do believe it has. And thank you, Backish. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And thank you once again, Miss Samaya, for your contribution once again. So here's what I want to do. I want to go to a commercial break because there are certain things that I want to say about this specifically. But right now, after these messages, we'll be right back.
Join PCTechForum.net is a new site. And so we'll be discussing everything related to tech news. They'll be discussing the latest processors, graphic cards, laptops, hard drives, computer cases. They also have a section for pre-built PCs and custom-built PCs, and also a PC straight from the manufacturer. They also be discussing the operating systems and how to troubleshoot them. And so last but not least, they'll also be discussing the latest games and business. The site is brand new, so people will join for the first time on there. So come and sign up today at PCTechForum.net.
All right, so what you want to do is you want to click the link at the top of the chat for PCTechForums.net. As we heard Brother Phil explain, that this is a forum for everything PC, everything technology. So if you are in the IT field, or you are just a casual person who has PCs, or you're involved with it as a hobby or what have you, this is the place to come to talk about all of those things. You can go ahead and nerd out with the PC talk, from hardware to software and everything in between. So what you want to do is hit the link at the top of the chat for PCTechForum.net. Become a part of the conversation or start one of your own. I owe you a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to Thank you so very much. I don't know how many likes we need, but we've got 1,100 people in the house. So I am hoping that we have a close number of likes. Okay. Thank you, Eric. Said, do the hyenas really not understand how 60 years of black men ain't ish rhetoric from radical black feminism and intersectionality would have consequences? They can't lack this much self-awareness. Seriously. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Unfortunately, they can. And they did. They did. See, they were thinking that the men, despite the amount of personal threat and environmental threats that men would face, that they would always do what men do, which is protect women, which is collectively give them for peace. See, the thing, it gets deep because feminism told them that as they became these other kinds of women that didn't adhere to any gender roles and didn't have to be traditional women and didn't have to be under a patriarchy, quote unquote, and didn't have to be under the rule of men. It didn't have to be, you know what I'm saying, under any of that, under the old rules, under the old social rules, that they would be able to do this, but also at the same time that the men would have to collectively give women 4 Ps. This is where that you don't need a man stuff coming really was based in. That you don't need one man that's going to give you 4 Ps. The society of men will do this. Men as a collective will provide for you. That's supposed to be zaddy, programs, taxpayer money, things of that nature. Men in general as a collective will problem solve for you. So, you got the men that are in different professions, the mechanics, the this, the that, to problem solve for her, right? Then you've got general protection. You could call the police, or you could call the men in your family or the men that you know. So as a collective, the men will protect you, right? And all you got to do is find a man here and there to, give you some D every once in a while for your procreation. If you want a baby, you can have one of them. out of wedlock. You don't need to be in a stable relationship in order to do this. So feminism convinced women that these 4 P's was better to get that as a collective than it was to get it from a single man. All right. Feminism taught women that it was better to cobble together 4 P's from the collective of men rather than get it from one man. And the reason why they did that is so that women could say that they didn't have to be under the jurisdiction of one man, so that they could reap the benefit of men without having to submit under the order of men and the system order and structure of men or any one man. This is why she get what she get from you. And then if you intend on, or if you try to install or put into place any system, order, and structure, the first thing she tell you is that she don't belong to you. I'm not your woman. You're not my daddy, you're not my brother, you're not my husband, blah, 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 blah. She tells you how she doesn't belong to you. She wants the rent. This is why they feel entitled to the protection without feeling obligated to listen to system, order, and structure. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? This is why they felt like, well, we can hate them on a collective level, but that the men, because of the way society and feminism told them it was going to go, the men would have to still be obligated to perform their duties in society. And one of those duties is supposedly protection. That I can get fat no matter what. This is why they say it. They say it out their mouth. And you even got men that'll tell you, no matter what she do, you supposed to protect her. No matter what she said, you supposed to protect her. No matter how men have actually lived the experience of trying to protect women and then getting the tables turned on them and no good deed go unpunished, so that now they got to deal with certain unpleasant consequences behind it, you still supposed to do it. And you should not be looking for the women to even have the decency of human beings and being a cordial human being with you. It is something that you owe collectively in society. This is where the whole concept of men not having the right to discern who they're going to protect comes from, because you're supposed to be throwing your percentage of protection in the pot with everybody else. Mind you, this is coming from men who would not do it themselves, but are taught to admonish other men for that reason, to do something that they wouldn't do. The women can't stand you. And when I say they can't stand you, I mean that. I mean, they can't stand you, whether you're in a relationship with them or not. The males in a hyena clan are always subjugated and done dirty. There is no amount of doing that he can do to get him out of a position of being treaded on and taken advantage of and not valued. That's what I want to be understood. Thank you. See that table with Uncle Stu. How you doing, Uncle Stu? Says salute. Salute. Keep up the great work. Uncle Stu is still here. How you doing, sweetheart? I appreciate you. Thank you, Common Man. So I estimate the brickhead is making almost 1,000 per hour since she put up her GoFundMe. She's at 41,113 as of right now. Amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you, Charlie. Says Sister D could call these females GMO and real women. Shout out to the good sis. I be dying because I be there for the whoa. I be there for that. I am so there for that because she does that out of the blue. It's hilarious. Anyway, thank you, Eric said, but that's not what the social contract was. They tore up the old social contract, so you can't make demands on a contract you broke. Delusional. But that's exactly the delusion that feminism put them in. That's the exact delusion. That the social contract can be broken one-sided. But the other side has to continuously do what was promised. Women are learning the hard way that rhetoric has a consequence. See, we tried to tell them the soft way. I told y'all this last year. I told you, hyenas. Listen, let me tell you something. I told you, hyenas, y'all would be the new black men. Because you want to be men so bad that the society is going to treat you like a man. And the men are going to regard you as a man, not as a woman. Because you removed yourself from the protection of men, because you abandoned womanhood, because you do not like that posting position, and you wanted the position of men. You want to be in charge. You want to be left alone. You want to be able to go and come and do this and that and the third without the system, order, and structure of men, without a man guiding, without male leadership, without his masculinity, without his problem solving. You want to be bad followers. You want to operate in bad faith with men. So now the society has said, okay, now you'll be men. Now you'll be men. And men don't get no slack cut for them. You get what you get. And sometimes you get stuff that you wasn't earning, that you didn't earn, and you just get it and you just got to live with it. And everybody turns a blind eye, because if men were getting jumped on by another man, by anybody, if men was getting jumped on by another man, nobody's going to jump into that. They're going to record. And if a man is getting jumped by a woman, they're going to record and laugh. And nobody's going to ask about the circumstances. Nobody is going to be trying to figure out who was the aggressor, who was in the wrong, who did what to who. Because when men murk each other, nobody's trying to get to the bottom of who was wrong or right. They just all get thrown in a pot for being violent and being savages. So nobody cares about when men fight or when they lose their life or when the other consequences come about when they are violent with each other. If a woman is violent towards him, he deserved it somehow. They're going to laugh because he a punk, because he get whooped up by a woman. And if he hits her back, he's a punk because he didn't walk away and he's fighting a woman. So nobody cares about when men are attacked. And now since you wanted to be men, and so the society has said, okay, you can be a man. We're going to give you a taste of being a man. Until you get back in your woman position, you're going to be whooped. The world will spank you in a way that you really will get the message. You really will get the message. The old woman in the video that we just looked at a little while ago was literally getting whooped with a belt. Old girl got hit with a brick. Brittany Renner almost caught hands from a boxer. That man's hands lethal. And she was still somewhere woofing. Why? Why was Brittany Renner woofing? Because she felt protected. She felt like that man wasn't going to come over there and give her no smoke. And y'all have thrown them dice and gambled and gambled and gambled. So now you ain't coming up with 7 and 11. You coming up with snake eyes. Some of these times you coming up with snake eyes. And then getting whooped. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina. Thank you, Immortal One said, blessings to you, beautiful one. Thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Keisa. This is the reason why passport bros are going to keep winning. According to USPS, passports among Black men are up 60%. Thank you so much, Rumen, and said, but they woman kings, though, handle your business. And see, this is what you get for buying that trash. That's why they sold it to you. So you could come out from the covering of men. And now that you're out from the covering of men, and men are actually literally refusing their cover at this point. They're refusing their cover at this point. Now you're uncovered. So the men that would have attacked you, and the only reason that they didn't go upside your head is because you were under the collective covering of men. So they understood that, wait a minute, if I get on this woman in public in the street, if it's other men around, I might actually have to deal with these other men too. And they don't want to do that. So, they don't put their hands on you and stuff like that, even if that's somewhere where they would go with it. Now, generally speaking, women are not under the covering of men anymore. You got to have your own man now. No more collective covering. The men are saying, we are not giving you 4Ps back committee no more. If you want 4Ps, you need to get in line with a specific man and let him do it. And most of y'all aren't going to be able to do that because you hard-headed. And a hard head make a soft what? Not going to be able to acquire a man because you done made marriage toxic. You done made him sleeping with you be toxic. You will not even be, you won't even be able to sell yourself to a man and get him to protect you. You would not even be able to barter yourself to a man because y'all thought it around and you made sex useless. That's worthless. That's that. The price of kitty cat is in the toilet. This a whole bear market. So that's useless. They don't want that. Not enough to be risking it all. We are looking at the consequences. We are looking at the ramifications. We are looking at the repercussions of such a reckless, dangerous rhetoric about how you don't need, don't want, can't stand men. You are not going to be able to keep telling me in that and then expect them to keep doing what they've been doing with a smile on their face. Not going to be able to do that. Because unlike women, not working on an emotion, now they just working on the logic of it all. Does it make sense? I could do the protection piece. Like, I got it in me to do the protection thing, but do I want to do it? Now you're making them think about it. When before it was automatic. Now, because the threat level is so high dealing with you, now they got to think, now they got to ponder. Do I want to protect or videotape? This is why that rhetoric that Princella have don't make no sense. I'm gonna tell you why it don't make no sense. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell the women that listen to Princella and that agree with her whole thing with women having a communal society with each other, where they help each other, where you take care of one another and things of that nature. I'm gonna tell you why that's cap. I'm gonna tell y'all why that's cap. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why it's cap. Thank you, old school. So that's a lovely outfit you have on, Kendra. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The reason why it's cap is because that woman would not sacrifice her employment to go and help an old woman that was being assaulted. The women do not regard one another as worthy of protection, provision, procreation in terms of being considerate or affectionate to one another, nor problem solving. Women do not feel that other women are worthy of 4 Ps at all. The woman that will not come out to stop an attack that for all she knew could have been deadly to you. This is the woman that you trust to build a community with as another woman, and y'all gonna live communally together and help each other. And when a threat come at your door, this is the one you want to have at your back, the one that left you out into the wolves to get ate up and beat up, and she stood safely behind glass and a door. That's why that's cap. That's why that's cap. Because A woman's not gonna risk anything to help another woman do nothing, because women are too selfish for that. We don't make sacrifices for everybody, and especially people we don't know and have no connection to. We don't actually do that. Now, do we? But we want men to do it. We won't do it. We refuse to do it. That woman is not giving up her MTA job to help no old lady, because if you ask her why she ain't do it, she gonna give you a myriad of excuses. The first excuse gonna be, well, I'm not gonna lose my job. Policy say I'm not supposed, I don't gotta do that. Then she gonna tell you about how she don't know that old lady, and she don't know what happened with that old lady. She don't know who that man is to her. And she don't know none of the circumstances and why should she have to go out there and fight? And then that was a man. She ain't going out there fight no man. And why come when the other men didn't do it? And so she not gonna do it. And so why would you expect her as a woman to go and do it? This is why what Priscilla's talking about is cap. Y'all are not going to squad up and take care of one another and have each other's back in the absence of men. Because if men decide to come give you smoke, every woman gonna be for herself. Because that's what women do. We got very few people in our circle that we would risk it all for. It's usually your children. Lionesses will do it for husbands and family members as well. Very few. Our circle this big when we talk about who we gonna lay it all on the line for. Because I'm not jumping in either. But then again, I don't talk that rhetoric about how women don't need men and how women can fight men. See, that's why I don't talk about all that, because it's not real. It's not real. It's a fantasy. And the woman behind that MTA glass know it's a fantasy. Because when faced with the concept, I know the thought ran through her head, should I go out there and do something? And then she was like, no. Messing with these people. You want some of this, old man? No. Thank you. The zone said you're right. I'm in my 60s, and when I was between 10 and 15, I told men was not sugar honey iced tea. And when I turned 18, I got out. Thank you so much. Thank you, Twin. Said a question females should ask themselves as well as Black women, since the maturity level differ, is, do you feel protected by yourselves like a vet? If the answer is no or hesitation, it's time to rethink life. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Missing. Bear Grylls showed us what happened when women are left to their own devices. They were almost dead in a week. Thank you so much. Said Professor Carl Tone. Thank you. So we are now bearing witness to what it truly means to be disrespected and unprotected. And it was done with their own hands. Sign language will not bring the men back home. That Priscilla rhetoric didn't age well at all. It did not. And thank you so very much. Thank you so much. JT and Guy said, when men decide to remove themselves, look what happens. Roe v. Wade, alimony in Florida, paternity fraud in Tennessee. This is just the beginning. It definitely is. Thank you so much. Okay. That is why all of that is cap. All the women who think that this sprinkle and Princella and all these chicks, these older chicks, telling y'all to screw over men and that it ain't gonna have no consequences in the future and you will be all right. Lies. So many. This is the consequence. This is not gonna stop. I want y'all to understand that y'all squawking about it and the men don't protect it. It's actually not gonna stop. This will not stop. This is gonna keep going. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to keep going. First of all, because chickens are really home to roost. The rhetoric that you put out really is coming back. And it's coming back physically. And these are strange men that don't know you and don't like you. So when they get physical with you, they going all out. They going all out. This is not you play wrestling with your boyfriend and he just hold you down with one hand and you can't get up. Men tried to tell you, hey, get back to being women. Get back to being feminine. Get back to that. And you will be able to have the 4 P's that you're trying to get. All we want you to do is be women. That's all we want you to do. And y'all refuse to do it. Now you got men whooping you up everywhere. Men putting their hands on you in every level. You got the ones that's dressed like women and the ones that ain't. All of them putting their hands on you. You got the tea parties doing it. They doing it politically. They doing it in sports, whooping you down. You getting in fights and getting in that ring, getting in that octagon, getting whooped up. He a man. That's a man. Just because he got that long hair on, he put on his lashes too, don't mean he ain't a man. That's a man. You whoop you, beat you till you rope like okra. They be able to sell you by the pound after the match. And they doing it in the street. So you getting whooped up by men everywhere you go. Because you said you didn't need them. And you said that you could do whatever they could do. And men didn't have nothing for you valuable. They were not valuable. And you could take care of yourself. You do stuff on your own. And you know, a man ain't got nothing for you but a couple of dollars. Correct? Thank you so much, Your Excellence. Thank you, sweethearts, and thank you for your continuous support of the Black community. I believe they are on that last level of debauchery sooner, and they are at their breaking point to remain in control. Let's go back to your prediction video. You're spot on. Thank you so very much, sweetheart. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. And thank you once again, Sister Samaya. Said women must understand physical weakness in women is not a defect. Exactly. Not a defect for a woman. You're supposed to be physically inferior to men. That's what inspires their protection of you, because they know you're physically inferior to them. They know that. That's what the inspiration of the protection is about. They actually like it when you're feminine. It inspires them to do the stuff that women are talking about they want from men. This is the collective turning men off. Men are collectively turned off. When I say turned off, I mean you turned them off like a light switch. Not sexually turned them off. You turned them off. You switched it. You pulled the plug on them. Women pulled the plug on men. Am I lying, brothers? Women collectively pulled the plug on men. Turned them off. You switched them off. You switched off their provision. You switched off their problem solving. You switched off their protection. You switched off their progression. You switched off. Because you refuse to be in a feminine position. So it's switched off. They no longer see you as vulnerable or really women or fragile or any of that stuff. That's why you're on your own. Because when among themselves, men are on their own. If a man see another man getting whooped down by another man, he is not prone to jump in that. You know why? Because he don't know why that man could have earned that whooping. He don't know that. If a man sees another man getting whooped up by another man, he's not going to be trying to figure that out. Oh man, I need to go over there and help. No. Why? Oh, what he did. He gonna stand there and look. If he stick around. Hey man, that ain't none of my business. And you get whooped up, man, that's crazy. Man, that's crazy. The only time you might have another man step in is if like it's a real old man getting beat by like some young men or something like that. Then you will see men jump in. Or like the Alabama brawl situation. One man, several men, and then that was racial too. So that's kind of was on a different level because that was racial. You know that was racial. we ain't gonna let no 3 saltines whoop on no brother. We just ain't finna let it happen. It's just the pride of being a black man. That wasn't gonna happen. Turned off. Thank you for saying it. The lionesses are turned off. You switched the lioness off. How did in what way did the lioness get switched off? We switched off sisterhood. We don't see you the same. We don't see you among the women. You're on your own. Thank you, Gogo, for your contribution. Thank you, Stanley Jean, as well. Thank you, King Pepper said, men built the world. What tangibles do females bring besides sex? I'll answer that in a second. Thank you, Thunder F said, hyenas will give a conditional ear, unnecessary mouth, and cherry-pick scrutiny, but expect men complete loyalty and allegiance unconditionally. Thank you so very much. Let me come back to this. Men built the world. What tangibles do females bring besides sex? Depends on who we talking about. We talking about hyenas or we talking about lionesses? Because in general, the best femininity that women bring it's not necessarily a bunch of tangibles. That is the realm of men. That's masculinity. Femininity is chaotic. Therefore, it is abstract. So some of the best lionesses We bring some tangibles because we're able to hunt. So many of us don't wait for the bag. We actually can go get it and support our husbands to go get it. Whatever vision, it's up to him to bring the system, order, and structure. We don't bring that. We don't have that. That's not what we do. We don't even have it. He has it. That's why we want him. So we bring an intangible value to men if we are lionesses. If we're talking about lionesses, I bring intangible value to my husband. I also bring physical values that have nothing to do with sex. But that depends on what kind of lioness you are. The most valuable thing that lionesses bring are intangible. So we bring the support necessary. We act as the helpmeet that we're actually supposed to be. We act as the muse that he actually draw from so he can go do the tangibles. He gonna bake the cake and put the recipe together. We're the ingredient. We don't bake the cake and put the recipe together. That's tangible. We do intangibles. As long as we're his muse, we're peaceful. And we actually support, and not just always moral support, but real helpmeet support. We are really in this thing with him. We really work on his vision with him. We really work towards his purpose with him. That's value. It's not always tangible, but it's value. So I hope that kind of answered a little bit of the question. Thank you, Tony Snow. Said we're going to build up the sisterhood brick by brick. Now we're going to tear it down. We don't want to build it. It's been built. We trying to tear that down. So the tangible would be anything that he asks us to do that is a tangible thing that helps him with his purpose and helps him with his vision. My husband asks for moral and spiritual support, but he also asks me for tangible things. I have work to do. He has a vision and purpose. I actually have work to do in regards to that. Like work, like real work. Like I got to sit down and like do stuff to help it. Like I help him. Thank you, Drew. Said buddy that asked that is a corn. But you know, some people have to ask. Some people have to ask. Some people do have to ask. And the reason why I feel like some people have to ask is because the way in which hyenas move, you gotta ask, wait a minute. This can't be all women do. Can't be. And so it needs to be explained. Because those really are the differences between the hyenas and the lionesses. It really is the difference. We're all female. We all have female nature, but it's how we conduct it and what we do with it that makes it valuable or makes it trash. So I'm good with the question. I'm good with it. Thank you, Robert. Said nowadays it takes two Muslim brothers to walk a sister car, one to protect the sister and one to protect the brother's reputation at the mosque. Okay. Thank you so much, Charlie. So hyenas, you asked this now you got it. So why are you crying when you get a brick to the face and whining that men don't protect? Thank you once again, Sister Samaya. Said the lioness is behind the scenes, raising cubs, taking care of her husband's house, which creates tangible material. And that's facts. My help of him frees him from having to worry about certain things so that he's more productive and effective in his way in the things that he has to do. So instead of being a weight to drag him and bog him down, I'm the buoy instead of the weight. I'm the life jacket. I'm the life jacket, not the straight jacket. I'm the life jacket for my husband, not the straight jacket. Can't be the straight jacket. You got to be the life jacket now. Thank you, Jesse. Said, nights like this, she wish these bricks won't fall. Y'all silly. Thank you, Jake. Said, you are like a free employee to his company. Also, definitely. And not even a free one. Because the payment that we receive from him is beyond the paycheck. And many times when a husband is very successful at what he's doing and his wife has been integral to that success, he'll just give her stuff. He'll just give her money. He'll give her actual money. It'll be taking care of her. And then here, babe, you actually, I've seen men give their wives a stipend, give them a paycheck, an actual paycheck. Because she does the work of like 10 employees. Like, I've seen it before. They definitely get paid. Thank you, Elliot. Said, tell them, Crimson, women are the glue and screws that hold the edifice together. Hashtag helpmates. Exactly. Thank you, Juan Solo Media. So that's why I don't like the not all argument. Everyone is able to do right and wrong, but if the shoe fits, tie it tight. Thank you so much. So much. Okay. So I just wanted to really talk about women not really hating men and then beg for protection. Chickens came home to roost. The chickens came home to roost. And they're going to keep coming in. You're not going to like it. I told women that you would not like it when men start problem solving. And when men start not caring. And when men start not seeing you as a woman. When they stop seeing you as women, you got a problem. When men start regarding you as another man, despite the fact that you are physically female, you're going to have a problem. And it's going to be a big problem. Big old problem. Lionesses, tread carefully. Because see, the blowback can happen to us also because sometimes not discriminate. It don't discriminate. So I'm warning the lionesses, tread carefully in these days and ages. Go places with your husband and stuff like that. Thank you, Miss Bella, for your contribution, sweetheart. Thank you, Dante. Said a nerve of female talking about being on code when they haven't been on code for 60 years. Exactly. All right. So before we get out of here, go ahead and go to crimsoncure.com and get your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery on sale now. Links are also in the description box. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I am your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.